Hi, I'm Sophia L. If you are new here, if not, welcome back to my channel. Here we talk about self development and the power of your mind for moms, women in their mid 30s to the 40s. And yeah, Libby's back with us again. She insisted. Say hi. She's not growling at me. She's growling at Kato, my other dog. Let's get into what I want to talk about today. So, last week, I touched on how most, if not everything, I chose my words differently, but most, if not all, our behaviors and patterns come from childhood, right? Like the root stems from childhood, comes from childhood. And it's not to put blame on anybody. I think it's important to mention that it's not to like blame yourself or your caregivers, your teachers, your siblings, friends at the time, whoever. It's not to put blame on them. It's to get a better understanding of yourself, right? Because when you understand yourself better, there's so many levels and layers and versions of us, right? And as we, get older and have more life experience, the way we look at things changes. The way we experience life maybe changes. The way we love grows and evolves and changes. It's so important to learn yourself through it all, right? And accept yourself as you are and work on the things that you're not thrilled about, that you don't necessarily really even like about yourself. You can love someone, but you don't have to like them. So you can do the same for yourself. Awareness is definitely the first step in any and all of this self development, personal development, business, and just noticing what you love and want to keep about yourself and grow and foster, and what you don't necessarily really like about yourself, and figuring out like where did you even pick that up, because getting to the root is key to true healing, right? And this is why I love RTT, rapid transformational therapy, so much, because it's all about getting to the root. The whole therapy is around getting to the root of whatever it is that you want to better, to change, whatever is paining you, whatever you're struggling with, even if you've been dealing with it your whole life, right? Yeah. Awareness, then getting to the root of it, right? And then reprogramming that. It's important to understand that your mind is like the most brilliant computer ever. And there's programming in there, right? The amount of math that you know is not the amount of math that exists or that you could learn, right? That's your programming on math. What is your programming on love? What is your programming on forgiveness for yourself and for others? What is your programming on this life and what you plan on creating? Or do you even have a plan? Or are you kind of just like going with the flow, seeing what happens? All of it is fine and good. It's up to you. This is your life. You get to do what you want to do, right? If you are in a place where you are easily triggered by the people around you, right? And maybe everything they do annoys you and triggers you, and you just can't even believe, you can't even fathom how these people are the way that they are, right? We've all had moments like this. I think I definitely have. Try to catch yourself and try to be so gentle and loving with yourself and tell yourself that there's something that needs to shift within you, that all of these people are maybe mirroring something back to you. Because if all these people are annoying you, your reaction to how they're annoying you is probably also annoying you. So you're annoying you. And maybe it's not everybody else. And even if it is, maybe they are really freaking annoying, whatever. The point is, you only have control over yourself. Like, actually be productive here and let's shift what we have the ability and the power to actually shift. It's not your job to change anyone else. It's not your job to help anyone else shift. And I know this is a hard pill to swallow. Trust me, for me as well, especially being in this line of work and seeing people's self sabotage and blocks so clearly. But if they're not open to change and they're just like in their complaining mode of everybody else is the problem and I'm not, I have to get away or I have to change everybody in my life, or before you are very lonely in your life and you eliminate everybody in your life, like, again, look within first. It's often in those moments that you really need and really would benefit looking within yourself. What's really going on here? Hand on your heart. Take a deep breath in through your nose. I'll do it with you, and out through your mouth. And repeat that a few more times. I usually do it 3 times. And calm your nervous system first so it knows it is safe, right? And maybe repeat to yourself, I am safe, it is safe, I am safe, right? Especially for us women, it's so important for us to feel safe in our body. So regulate your nervous system, come back to yourself, and really just get so real. Maybe close your eyes, and if this helps, think about the little girl version of you, and whatever age comes up, just let it be there. Just notice it. Like, oh, this version of me is like 5 years old. You could tell by the way she looks, by, whatever she's wearing. Maybe you've seen a picture of you at this age, and you'll just know intuitively how old she is. And ask her, ask that part of you, that version of you, what she needs in this moment is extremely helpful and can be. So allow yourself to go there, even if it sounds silly, even if you've never done inner child work before. What are you doing, Liv Liv? And and just see how you feel, just try it and see what comes up for you. And if tears come up, if a lot of emotion comes up, if it's your first time or your 50th time, whatever comes up, just allow it. Just know that you can handle it and it will pass through you, and allow it to pass through you. It takes 90 seconds for an emotion to go through your body. And if you just let it do its thing, it will. But if you let your mind get in the way and say, like, oh my God, I can't handle this. What is this? Is this going to be forever? And start to panic, it's you sabotaging yourself, And we all do this. And I'm no stranger to this, right? And then I'll snap out of it and I'll bring myself back to, this is just an emotion. I can handle this. Like, that's all that it really is. And maybe memories are coming up with it, and that's okay because it already lives within you. It's just coming up and out of you, which is progress, right? And you want it to just move through you and out of you. And when we do this major healing, by the way, because that's what it is, major inner healing, it's making space for different to come, for maybe better to come, for, in my experience, better, especially if you have that beliefs like, the world is a beautiful place if you have the eyes to see it. People are incredible if you have the eyes to see it. I often say, like, what lenses are you seeing the world through, to my clients or anyone I'm doing any work with, family members, friends, whoever allows me to, or welcomes me rather, to uproot the weeds and just like move them out of the way and let's see what's really going on here at the root. major healing, but it's not surgery. It's not, painful, physically painful. Like, we can, especially when you have someone with you, not feeling alone is huge. I don't think we were ever meant to be alone, and teach them self regulation. Learning it whenever you learn it is better than never learning it. And teaching it to whoever's willing to learn it is, I think, one of the most beautiful gifts you can give it to somebody. So learn to self regulate. There's so many different ways you can do this. You know, the hand on your heart thing, and just being present with yourself, and just recentering, maybe putting your feet on the floor, grounding, maybe noticing like where you are and that you are safe, and repeating that to yourself until you physically feel it in your body. Like, you feel better, you feel more calm, your heart rate will regulate and stop racing, and your mind will stop, like the monkey mind, they call it, like jumping from branch to branch, like thought to thought to thought to thought. You don't have to experience that, is what I mean. The average person has about 65,000 thoughts a day, and we're not focusing on all of that because we would lose our freaking minds. But, or really aware of that, like really consciously aware of that. But it's important to know how to quiet your mind. Meditation was the first way I learned how to quiet my mind. I go through phases with what I want to do and what feels good at the time, and I trust myself on that. And so meditation hasn't been like something that I practice daily. Like, when I go get a lash fill, I do meditation. Things that I can actually be doing, feeling productive, just it's something that like I can get behind. It's something that I know I will practice. So find what that is for you. Maybe it's lighting a candle and staring at the flame, and just like bring yourself back to it. Just get consumed by your thoughts. Bring yourself back. I'm here, sitting here with intention, staring at this flame, to recenter myself, ground myself, to clear my mind a little bit. The thoughts will always occur. I don't know that they'll ever stop, but you kind of knowing to detach yourself a little bit, and knowing how the mind works, and allowing your mind to kind of do its thing without it letting it like drive you nuts, and you paying attention to every single thought that occurs in your mind. You want to just be able to chill. Want to be able to be present. Do you know what I mean? Like, really be present. Like, it was very, like, not in my body, um, in fight or flight, I think most of my life, and I didn't know it until I realized that that's not okay, and there's a reason it doesn't feel good. It's because there's a better way, and that's available to you. So, it's up to you, though, to figure out what that is for you. So, like I said, there's the meditation. You can do EFT tapping, which is a great one, where you're tapping on energy meridian points, like acupressure points, and you're going through emotions that you are wanting to release, and then reprogramming your mind, um, by saying what you want to be feeling, And it could be as simple as I am safe. It's a great nervous system regulation tool, and so easy to learn. And there's so many videos here on YouTube that are for free. There's the tapping solution app that I have, that I often turn to when I have like a headache or back pain, and it gets to the root. It gets to the real reason you are having these physical pains. You know, it's all connected. Like, your emotions and what's going on in your inner world is connected, and it's your body's cry for help when you're in pain. When you're in physical pain, it's your body like, hello, pay attention, or like, look at me, and like, help fix this. And another thing I want to say on that is learning to really love your body. And there's layers and levels to this. Loving your body through every season, through, for us women, and moms, when we're on our cycles, after our cycles, before our cycles, whatever else we're dealing with on top of that, maybe like, and then also there's root causes for other things too, like PMDD and PCOS, and RTT helps with all of that. But to stay on track, that's another thing I wish I knew, so throwing it out there. So, oh, I want to give you a really good example. When I was trying to get pregnant for all those 7 years, I used to get really bad migraines when I would get my monthly friend. And and it would last for like 3, sometimes 4 days. It was really rough. Nothing helped. I just had to sit in it. Every single month this would happen. I have someone help me with the migraines through RTT. And what we discovered, so the whole thing is you figure it all out for yourself. So if you're one of those people, I'll get back to what I was saying. If you're one of those people who, like me, likes to have the credit, like, oh, I know, like I figured this out and I did this. The eldest child in my family. Like, I really pride myself in that. I'm not afraid to admit that. So in RTT, I think that's one of the reasons I love it so much too, is the client always figures it out, Like your guide will help you along the way, but you know the answers, you know the solution, you know the root cause, and you're the one that uncovers all of that. And I think that's really empowering and beautiful because you have the answers within you. You always did, and you always will. And so we uncovered in the session that my body was punishing me. I can get emotional thinking about it. My body was like punishing me because I wasn't getting pregnant. So every month that I was getting those migraines right after I, got my monthly friend, it was because of that. Because it meant I wasn't pregnant. And so it was like punishing me. So your body does this thing to protect you from something that it thinks is unsafe or that could hurt you. So if you've ever had your heart broken, like really, and your body, right, and your subconscious are the same, are one and the same. So especially if you said things like, I could never feel this again, like I'll never put myself through this again. Your body and subconscious in that moment were like, okay, noted. You will protect you from this. So you won't even get close to love again, like unless someone breaks down those walls, which is very, very hard. So, that might be something that you want to change and know that that what you're experiencing in your life is a reflection of your inner world. It's it's your beliefs, right? And I know that may be like really hard to accept, especially if you're used to pointing the finger a lot and they're wrong, but not me. And you want to just become aware of it so you can choose to stop and you can choose to do better and you can choose to make different choices and reprogram your mind with new beneficial beliefs. And as a result, your life will change little by little, or all at once in such a beautiful way. So it happens with you in like your inner world, like I like to say, when you do the inner work, and then it starts to reflect outside of you. And people will treat you accordingly. And, it's often like I'm sure you've heard that saying, like, when you stop needing their approval is when they approve of you. When you stop fighting for them to love you and needing them to love you and validate you is when they do. We create a lot of resistance, not realizing it. And we can choose not to do that. We can choose differently. So, finding the root cause of my migraines, I didn't experience that again from that moment. That's another really amazing thing. I often find when I'm relaunching my course, my fertility course, my body fully starts to prepare for pregnancy. I literally, unless I really want intentionally to get pregnant, I have to like be very careful in all ways because there's so many signs that my body thinks it's I've just like reprogrammed my mind so much. And so when I tap into that energy again of my course fertility mindset makeover, which in and of itself, like that energy, the energy in it and of it is so freaking fertile. It's pretty phenomenal if you're trying to get pregnant. I will see pregnant women all the time. Like it's in my reticular activating system, like I talk about in my content on other platforms. If you're interested in hearing more, learning more about that. So it's no surprise. It's just so amazing and wild in a beautiful way how much power we have, RTT for all the things, all the physical things, right? It's definitely the thing that helped me get pregnant. Um, it was the bridge that helped me get pregnant and helped me reprogram every negative test because when you're trying for so long, when you're so used to seeing that, it's so important to reprogram your mind to knowing you get to see the two lines. You get to see the pregnant, you get to see the cross, whatever it is, depending on which test you take. What's familiar to you also is what will keep happening in your life. So if you feel like you're living a monotonous life, and it's just like Groundhog Day, like that movie where it's like this, you're living the same day again and again and again. And I can get into those feelings as well. I know I have to shift. Like, I know I have to start doing things differently and seeing things differently, choosing to see things differently and working with my mind. And like I said, it gives you so much power and it gives you so much freedom and liberation. And you don't have to go on the way you've been going on. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to feel unfulfilled or unhappy. You get to have a good life. You came here to have a good life. You deserve to have a good life, and you can change, so if you feel like maybe you don't deserve it, there you need reprogramming and you can choose better and you can choose to be better and do better and think better and feel better and be better from this moment moving on, and it's all up to you. It always was and it always will be up to you. um yeah, so going back to the whole loving your body thing, especially for us women, and how many times our body changes throughout our lifetime, and especially if you're having babies and carrying them and pregnancy. And I think this is such a big one for women. When you look in the mirror, do you pick yourself apart or are you complimenting yourself in your mind? Like, what are the thoughts going on? And like, I'll give you an example that I'm not proud of, but I'm very aware of, and everybody in my family and friends, like everybody close to me knows not to say weight things in front of my daughter who's a teenager. I've been this way for a while, not to say weight things, food things, anything negative about food or weight or anything that doesn't consist of or, of loving and respecting and accepting your body. And if you pay attention, you will notice that a lot of women have different feelings and beliefs and thoughts on their bodies, and they will say them out loud a lot of the time because we want to be heard and we also want to be proved wrong, right? But you prove yourself wrong because the whole world could tell you that you're absolutely gorgeous. But if you don't believe it, none of that will matter. It'll all just be it'll all just be noise. You need to know it like deep, deep down at the root. right? And when you reprogram things, that's what I mean also. You're getting to the root and you're reprogramming them. So you're uprooting whatever weeds are in there that say anything and everything opposite of loving yourself and accepting yourself as you are, and putting in whatever you want to feel about yourself, loving and accepting yourself. You deserve to feel that way. You deserve to love and accept yourself, right? And how can we love and accept others if we're not loving and accepting ourselves? So that's another thing I want to bring back to, like, when we point the finger and we're like being so triggered, there's something within you that you're not accepting. There's something within you that feels unbearable. There's something within you that needs to shift, that needs to be looked at, that needs love, compassion, acceptance, forgiveness, maybe, And when you give yourself that, you will notice how quickly everyone around you starts to shift, meaning they won't trigger you as much anymore. You'll start to have more love and compassion. You'll be looking through different lenses, is what it is. And not literally, but like in from your inner world, It all matters, like how you're feeling within. And that's how you will see the world, right? And the people in your life. And a lot of people are really, really lonely, and alone. So the people you have in your life, I feel they're there for a reason. You get to love them. You to affect them in a great way. And so how are you choosing to affect them? Are you going to be the person that shows them what true loyalty is? Or are you going to be the person that shows them that they deserve to be fully loved? Are you going to be their hype man, their hype woman? Like, we affect each other so much, and it's important to realize how, and how do you want to be remembered? Um, what we say matters. So start with you, start with yourself, right? I, for so long, would point the finger and try to fix everyone, right? When I needed the most fixing. I needed to learn to be present and be aware of my inner world and my belief systems and what's going on in my subconscious mind, and realizing what I wanted to change and realizing that I can change was the biggest gift. Oh my God. And you can too. So the only reason I'm here is because I changed so many of my limiting beliefs. So you can do this too. And in whatever way you make sense for you, in whatever ways you need, right? So love yourself, accept yourself. And it's not going to happen overnight, maybe. It takes time. How long have you been not accepting and loving yourself unconditionally? Think about that. And just have like compassion for yourself and grace and patience. And you're a work in progress. So am I. We all are and should be. And that's a good thing. So I think that's all I want to say for today. Love your body. Notice what you're saying in front of the mirror. I didn't, conveniently forgot to say, I really did forget to say the example about looking in the mirror thing. So here's what I do that I started noticing my daughter now saying, and I'm like, okay, noticed, noted, going to reframe this every time, whenever this comes up for me, because she's watching and she's listening and now she's doing it. So this is how I can change that. I can have a talk with her and say, hey, I noticed you do this thing or you say this thing that I say. And, you know, I want you to be aware of it. She's old enough and mature enough and open and aware enough to let this in. But if your kid or your family or whoever it is isn't, this is a great way to do it. Shift your own shit. I've created this habit of saying I have nothing to wear, you know? And I probably didn't create it. I probably was saying that when I was a kid. Also, when I was like a teenager, probably it started. And so I say it all the freaking time, right? And it can also be like anxiety that comes up. You know that like anxiety or butterflies, like whatever, when you're getting ready to go somewhere that just may come up. So another option would be, I'm realizing now as I'm saying this, would be to regulate your system, your nervous system, right? And the hand on your heart thing, the 3 deep breaths. I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. Maybe say a prayer, whatever your thing is. That's another thing. Aside from meditation, which is also a form of prayer, you can talk to God, pray, to try something different if you haven't tried this before, and thank Him for what you want. Him, her, whatever. Thank God for what it is that you want, as if it is already done. Not like, please, do this thing, because it may be more potent and land with God quicker on the frequency that God is on, to know that He will deliver, you know? And so you don't have to go at it in like a beggy, needy vibe. You can just, this is what I want. Show me my next steps. Show me how I can quickly and easily get there. Show me the path of least resistance. Thank you, God. Like just be cool. And yeah. So yeah, I was saying this thing. I don't know what to wear, blah, 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 whatever. I have nothing to wear. And then my daughter started saying it, and she has literally no reason to say it. So I know she picked it up from her mommy, right? So again, we're not going to shame ourselves, although it's very easy to go there. Let's be productive and let's figure out how to shift this. Good thing that you caught it, Sophie. Good thing, catch these things, pat yourself on the back for being aware of it. Like, shift the way you operate. Normally, usually, I would have operated like in shaming myself and oh my God, and telling her right away when I noticed it, like, don't say that and da da da, which doesn't land, you know? So, like, waste of your time and breath, and now you're putting your kid in a weird mood, like, and you're giving off negative energy. Like, just stop. Operate better. Just, respond, don't react, and just sit with it for a minute and then respond and do things differently. And so will they. Think about, how you grew up and how you picked up on things that people were saying and doing and that you to this day do. Like, how often do you say, my mother, like I was speaking or yelling and my mom came out my mouth, or whatever that saying is? Like, I know we've all probably experienced this, and you get to shift that. Unless it was great advice, then of course, like, our parents gave us all of it. I'm sure they gave us things that we want to carry on and continue with our families. And then there's things that are ready to, you know, expand, elevate, just open up our minds to different and new possibilities. Every generation should be doing better than the last. And I thank God for that time that's going to come, because I know it'll come as it should. So we just want to be doing better, right? Learn from what you've been through, from how you were raised, and choose to do better, but really make the choice. And you'll mess up sometimes, and that's okay. Notice it. Notice it, apologize, and we do better. And then we get better and better little by little, and then all at once. And in hindsight, you'll notice that you've made tremendous improvement in so many different ways, and you get to love yourself and celebrate yourself all the time. All the time, if that's what you choose to do. Have little dance parties, with your kids or with your husband or with your friends or with yourself. Like, how to celebrate life. I love you. I hope this was helpful. I hope it landed. Let me know in the comments what your favorite part was, what your takeaway was maybe, and what you're going to try and shift through. And I can't wait to hear from you. Leave a pink heart if you stayed till the end. I love you.